Hello everyone, welcome back to The Sussman. So today we're going to be reviewing Marvel Avengers, the new PS4 game just came out, or I guess it's on every platform. I just played on PS4, but yeah, there's a lot to it. I can't say it is the greatest game I've ever played in my life, but it did some things well, and we'll get into that. So to start off with the positive things about it, the combat was actually super fun. For several different characters, I found myself just really diving into it and having a fun time with it. Mainly Hulk and Iron Man, like both of them, you really felt like you were playing as the Hulk because he was like super destructive in this game. And Iron Man, you also felt like, I don't know, it was kind of like an Anthem type mechanic with the flying and combat, and I actually really liked that. That was I found it super innovative, and it felt really good. But the other characters, I can't say I love them. Like Kamala, for example, it's like her moveset, it was like interesting and stuff like that, but it wasn't like I was begging to go back to that character, you know. It's like, I don't know, it just wasn't my playstyle. I'm sure a lot of people play as like Kamala or even Black Widow, and they're like, yeah, you know what, that's the character I want. That feels like me, and it just didn't feel like me. I'm not gonna knock on how the combat was for those characters. I'm just gonna say that's not how I enjoy playing. So yeah, I wouldn't say those are great characters for me. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people will like it, but like Black Widow, for example, all the other people, they felt kind of like more like, you know, tanks because they're superheroes and they can take a lot more damage and stuff like that. Black Widow literally felt like a person off the street because like people would just shoot you once or twice and you'd be dead already. Like you had no health. And I don't know, it was just really weird, especially like her super, she like whip out this electrical staff, and then she would, you can actually take damage and get hit while you're in that. With other characters like Iron Man and Hulk and all these other people, if you use your super, like, you actually don't take damage while you're in that form. And that's why I just felt like, Black Widow was just super hard to survive with. Like, I don't know, she just didn't do a ton of damage. Hard to survive with. She relied like heavily on dodging and parries and stuff like that, and all the other characters are just straight up like clearing people out. So I don't know, I didn't have fun with her at all. The other ones I kind of had a marginally fun time with, but her, I feel like she was just a horrible character. That's the only character I feel like would actually be horrible. I'm sure a lot of people, you know, might actually like her, but I just did not. Captain America was alright. He was a little bit of a squishy character. I died a ton with him. I don't know what the deal was. I didn't like the whole... I'm not a person that likes blocking a ton, so the whole shield R2 move just wasn't my thing, so I was getting cooked in about every situation with him. But he was fun, though. I liked the shield attacks. You know, they were alright. Thor, you know, he played a lot like Iron Man, so I liked him, but, you know, it was... I don't know, it was just kind of the same old. But a lot of these characters did feel unique, and you know, if they would have added more characters, they would have added a lot to this game, I think. I know they're coming out with like new DLCs with possibly Ant-Man and like Black Panther, and a couple other Hawkeye, but they just, I don't know, they should have put them in here and they should have had more stuff. I don't know, but the combat was fun. I did enjoy the combat. The story was pretty decent. I wouldn't say it's one of those stories where you can just go back and play it a whole bunch of times and love it each time. It was a story that was a good, you know, one playthrough type story. You know, it was kind of basic, I guess. Like, you kind of knew how it was going to turn out in the end. You knew exactly what was going to happen. But, you know, there was some character building in there. And, you know, overall, it was a good one playthrough type story, I think. So for what it was pretty decent. Now, the voice acting is like a hit or miss. Like, Kamala was pretty good had a good voice actor. Let's see, Thor. I actually did enjoy Thor. I did enjoy, you know, Hulk. I think Bruce Banner in general, he was... the voice actor was pretty good. Now for Iron Man, boy howdy, that voice actor did not sound like anything like what Iron Man was. He sounded like a old decrepit grandfather, like on his last legs. I don't know. It just wasn't my my cup of tea for that choice of voice actor. Black Widow was all right, I guess. And Captain America wasn't good either. Like, and some of the lines that they wrote for the characters didn't help the voice act. Even the voice acting wasn't great, but the the way they scripted it wasn't great either. Like, for example, everyone kept on calling Thor Son of Odin. It's like, Thor is this no longer Thor, it's only Son of Odin. And I'm like, listen, no one on Earth calls Thor Son of Odin. Like, that's like calling me, like, son of, and then, you know, my last name. Like, what the heck? That doesn't make any sense. Like, you don't go around calling, you know, Bruce Banner son of Banner or whatever. I mean, that it was just weird. So it's like, just call Thor Thor. And it was stuff like that, like little weird lines that the game just, it did not help the game at all. You know, I'm sorry, I'm already starting to get into the bad stuff here, because there was honestly a lot more bad than there was good. For example, like when you're flying around the map, like as Iron Man or whoever, the game will not hesitate to remind you constantly when that you have new gear or better gear you can upgrade or skill points you can upgrade, and it like constantly takes up half your screen saying, listen here, you gotta equip this right now or we're not gonna have any fun. And I'm like, listen, I know I have gear, I'm gonna do it later, just let me have this. And like, there wasn't anywhere in the settings to like turn this off. Like, it was a constant like tool help icon that would just always pop up. And then if you were like off task, like if, for example, in the game, it was kind of fun because like you go to like this big map or whatever, and you know, there'd be like different objectives, like question mark objectives, where it wasn't the main plot of whatever mission you were on, but you could like go get some gear, go rescue a hostage, and that was like super fun. So you'd be like going to do this stuff, and you're running around the map going to these checkpoints, and Jarvis or whoever is in charge of the mission just constantly like bugs you, and they're like, listen, you're not going the right way, you gotta go somewhere else, the hostages are in danger, the town's on fire, someone's poisoned the water hole, you know, crap like that. And it was like non-stop. I'm like, damn, just shut up, I'm trying to like do this side quest, and oh man, it was not happy about you doing any side quest in the game. I feel like the tool helps and the whole navigation thing, it was just so incredibly annoying. Like, basically, I feel like the people created this game not expecting a single person to actually go to the check marks. They only want people to, you know, straight up do the only objective there and nothing else. That's what it seemed like to me. It was really breaking immersion for me, and it was, I don't know, it was kind of frustrating. I was very, very frustrated with it. But yeah, other than that, I mean, the maps they had were beautiful, but you know, I feel like the design was pretty good on the maps and everything like that, but there was only so many maps. Like, during the story, you know, you went to some places that were super cool, super original, and you like, in the raids and other missions you do, and side quests and stuff, you only go like the same like 5 or 6 maps. And basically it's like they get a map and then they just dump like a hostage location in a different area, and it lost creativity. Like, after your first like 10 side missions or raids or whatever you're doing, it gets super old, especially since you're literally fighting the same like, you know, 5 to 10 enemies the entire game. There's not a lot of if you're looking at this game for diversity's sake, don't, because there is just no diversity in this game. It's the only diversity is with the combat and the heroes, which is done very well. But other than that, the enemies and the maps, there is just no diversity at all. It's the same old, same old. You play the same 10 enemies, the same 10 maps. It just moves stuff around, pretending you don't know that's happening. I don't know. It's like they were trying. You know, it's weird too, because it's Marvel making the game. I mean, Marvel's done such a great job with Spider-Man and the upcoming Miles Morales Spider-Man game as well. And it's just, I don't know. They missed the mark on this one. I just don't know how else to put it. Like, I don't know. And not only that, this thing ran like a turd half the time. Like, holy cow. I wasn't even playing with multiplayer, guys. Let me tell you right now. I was only playing by myself, and I had like the computer players just dropping in to help you, which honestly is a clusterfuck in its own right, because you know, like, I'm going in here and I'm fighting these people, and I have the Hulk and Black Widow and everyone else flying all over the place, and it's hard for me to like actually figure out what I'm fighting sometimes. Like, there's so much going on, like, and just like these scenes right here, you can just see how much is happening. I mean, if you're with friends, it'd probably be fun, but by yourself, it's like, it's just almost a nightmare. Because like they start, you know, whipping out their specials, and there's like stuff flying all over your screen. All of a sudden, I have a PS4 Pro, and it's overheating, and the game is lagging out like crazy. And you know, I've never had anything lag out really on a PS4 Pro besides like 2K, just because 2K is just an absolutely atrocious game. But every other game I've had, like heck, Ghost of Tsushima, all that high-end graphic type games, they didn't have this problem at all. So this one the game just didn't seem optimized at all. There was this, I don't know, you just go into certain scenes, and the mouths weren't synced correctly, and like I said, the characters would just lag out the game. So I don't know, that part I had a hard time with. I had a really hard time with that. Other than that, it's like I don't know. I mean, there's good parts of it. I mean, the very first couple missions you do are absolutely fantastic, and it gets very convoluted towards the end. Like, kind of shield agents just show up to the Chimera for like, and they're just there. It's not like you actually know like where they came from or what happened. It's like everyone just randomly shows up to the Chimera like they knew where it was the whole time. I don't know. There were some parts of the story that there was clearly like a lag of or a lack of time presented. And I mean, I could follow it, but for your average person, I feel like it would be harder to follow that plot sometimes. I don't know. That's just personal, but now the boss fights in the story were actually pretty good. There's only like 4 to 5 boss fights in the entire game, but I had a fun time with the boss fights. Like, I wish they had more. If they had a boss fight like at the end of every level, I'd be perfectly happy, because they honestly did a pretty good job with it. All the bosses were pretty original. They didn't play the same. You had to learn for different ones. So I don't know. I feel like the game executed that very well. Basically, everything with the combat. I mean, fighting the enemies wasn't. It was pretty fun. I mean, the enemies did present a challenge. It was just the same enemies though. Like, you had your shield maidens, and you had the most annoying part is every single person had a rocket launcher, and then you just die. Like, rocket launcher is like a one-hit kill, so it's like if you just don't see the react meter, you're immediately dead. I don't know why that is, but it's kind of annoying. But yeah, overall, I think this is a good game if you want to play it like once or twice, but I would not go into this game expecting it to be a $60 game. I feel like this felt like a $30 to $40 game that they kind of just forced out there for $60. If they added more DLC characters, which I hope they do, that might add to the game. If they add actual missions and not just like, raids, that'd be better. The gear is, oh, I forgot to talk about this. The gear is absolutely atrocious, because you can unlock a ton of gear during the game. You only have a couple gear slots, so you're constantly having to go through your storage locker to get gear out and everything like that. And the gear doesn't actually change the appearance of your character at all. Like, you actually have no idea what the gear does. Even the gear says, oh, it creates small bombs that come out when you get perfect block. But I had like a ton of gear for every character, and I never saw one special thing it did besides just make your character a little bit more powerful. But it's not a cosmetic thing. You don't actually see the changes. You don't feel the changes. It's just, I don't know. The gears is absolutely horrible. The whole gear system is broke. But yeah, overall it was a mostly negative experience. I was going into this with such high hopes. I really thought they could do it, because it's a fun concept. The concept's really fun, but the execution is just not great. If you're looking for just like combat with your favorite Marvel Avenger, this is definitely the game for you. You'll actually enjoy it. But if you're going into it wanting a mixture of combat, great story, diverse enemies, stuff like that, this is not the game for you. So yeah, that's kind of all the gripes I have with the game. I mean, I don't know. Play it for yourself, and let me know, what you think. So just real quick, as the video is wrapping up here, I'm thinking about starting also like reaction videos to trailers and stuff. I know there's a lot of PS5 stuff going on, which I'm super hyped about. I just got a PS5 pre-ordered, but I'm kind of wanting to like react to PS5 trailers, game trailers, stuff like that. I kind of wanted to get into that as well. Not just game reviews and movie reviews and stuff like that. But I don't know. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. If not, just let me know. But yeah, so that's Marvel Avengers. I'm just going to whip it out and say I'm going to give the game... I don't know. It's tough, because like it's alright, but it's nothing special. So I'm just going to give it like a 65%. I mean, it's like an average game. I think a 60 and above is kind of average. And the only reason I'm giving it like a 65 is because I really enjoyed the combat. So yeah, I'm gonna give it like a 65 out of 100, and say it as you will. So if you have any suggestions of games I should review next, let me know. If you have, if you want to challenge me in my knowledge of Marvel Avengers, be my guest. Like, please tell me what else there is that's great about this game, because it's not the wonderful experience I was hoping for. But anyway, that is the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, leave some comments saying what your favorite game is or how you think this one should be improved. So yeah, thank you everyone, and have a good one.